Alright, first land acquisition we are going to discuss today is how the United States gained the original U.S. So how did they become the country that started in 1783? So, in 1783, the Revolutionary War ends with something called the Treaty of Paris. The United States and Britain, as we know, fought a war. The war ended, Britain lost, and they gave up the 13 colonies to become their own country called the United States. Now, the size of the United States in 1783 was not the size that it would become in 1800 or even 1830. In 1830, there's something called the Indian Removal Act, which forced Native American tribes off of their land. Okay, it's called the Indian Removal Act. You will see the word Indian and Native American used interchangeably, so please do not get confused. They're referring to the same groups of people. I'm going to give you a second to write this down before I continue. Okay? Now, how did gaining this territory benefit the United States? Well, as you can imagine, territory and room is the biggest thing. The United States is starting to grow. They need more land for their 12 million people at the time to spread things like cities, farming, government, religion to the United States and the government. Those are important things. Also, this would give the United States access and control to the Mississippi River. They would not have all of this river yet. This would become good for trade. Now, what did this cost? Obviously, this cost millions of dollars to relocate native tribes over many years. It's also cost lives from fighting in the Revolutionary War. And also, it leads to an expansion of slavery. As the United States gains more territory, this means that more people might want to spread slave plantations and might need more slave labor. So this is going to be a major cost in terms of African Americans. The people who are already living in those territories, different Native American tribes, are obviously forced to move, whether that's actually using the military or through fighting with white settlers. These different Native American tribes and nations are going to resist by violence, by fighting. Most people are not just going to give up their territory and their land and their homes for no reason. So they're going to fight, and there's going to be lives lost on both the U.S. side and different Native American tribes and nations. You will see this word right here, nations, used a lot when referring to Native American groups. Now, this last box is your opinion. So based off what you have learned about how the United States gained this land, costs, and benefits, do you think the United States is justified in gaining or acquiring the territory? Meaning, did they have good reason? Were there more costs or more benefits? If there were more costs, you will say the United States was not justified in gaining the territory. Make sure you explain why.